Let's talk about awareness. What awareness is, how powerful awareness can be to help us to break through some of our biggest challenges. Because I'll tell you, awareness for me has been the key to breaking through some of my most difficult challenges without even necessarily solving the problem. So let's first talk about what is awareness. Awareness is noticing. Awareness is being able to take in your surroundings. We have organs of awareness. Yeah, what we see, we may see physically. We also can see in a more metaphorical way, right? We can see spiritually, mentally. Awareness in our eyes is not just necessarily just our physical eyes. We can hear, and that can be physical, or we can hear things that aren't necessarily physical with our ears, but may be a spiritual hearing. We can feel, and that may be a physical, tangible feeling, or it may be a feeling, like the feeling of the heart, for instance. So we have organs of awareness that help us to notice. Recognizing what's going on at the moment is a way of being aware, and that requires us to get present. So in a way, being present is a way of being aware. When we're aware, we notice the thoughts that are going on. We notice what's in our head going on. So I might notice my thinking. It doesn't mean the thoughts have to stop. It's not like, oh, I have to stop all thinking to be aware. When I'm in awareness, I can actually notice the thoughts that are coming up, and I can generally name them. They're not just running automatically anymore. So I like to think of thought as a stream, this activity that's going on in our brain. There's 30 to 40,000 of them in a given day. So there's lots of them happening. And these thoughts are sometimes really, we're floating down this stream. Sometimes we're drowning in this stream of thought. And we may or may not be aware of the thoughts, but awareness is like us stepping out of the stream and being able to look at the stream. We suddenly can see the stream for what it may be. I can see my thoughts and my emotions and go, oh, okay, I'm okay that I'm having that. It's like I suddenly, now I'm not just swept along by the thoughts. I am becoming an observer of the thoughts. It's like I'm taking a step back, so to speak, from the thoughts. So if I find myself in a place of heavy thinking and I'm feeling myself spiraling downward in a thought spin, I can just notice that at that given moment and go, okay, whoa, let's step out of the thought. Let me notice what it is. It's okay, I'm having this. And I can start to use my awareness as a solution to the situation. The key with awareness here is that I'm not trying to solve a problem. When I'm trying to solve a problem, I'm thinking about it, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I'm not trying to do that. And I'm not trying to use awareness to solve the problem here. I'm letting myself become aware so that I can calm and neutralize the issue that I'm in. Here's the problem with problems. We generally create problems at the level of thinking we're at. So we get to a level of thinking, and up in our head, we're thinking about things in a certain way, and suddenly there's like, oh, there's a problem, there's another problem, there's another problem. So awareness is about stepping out of the thoughts and increasing the light that is within us. And that light does not increase up here. It increases when we connect with our organ of awareness, the way that God speaks to us, which is through our heart. Now, what is interesting about this is generally awareness increases when connection increases, and connection to our heart increases when we can calm down, when we can be still, when we can be present, and just notice what we're noticing and be okay that it's there. This goes back to the earlier exercise we did where we looked at something and said, can I be okay that I'm struggling with this emotion? Can I be okay that I'm not okay struggling with this emotion? Whatever we have to get to. We first neutralize and calm down. And in that calming down, suddenly we can reconnect with the heart and get the brain and the heart to actually come into a state we call coherence. And now, interestingly, when we come into coherence, we get back into our frontal lobe, but the heart begins to become the primary communicator to the brain. Scientific studies have shown that about 80% of the signals will come from the heart to the brain in a state of coherence versus 20% going from the brain to the heart. So when we're in coherence and there's alignment, we're calmed, we're back in alignment. Now suddenly it's like God can get through to us through the heart, because remember, he speaks in the mind and the heart. Satan only speaks through the mind. So he's trying to get us up in our head and our thoughts. But God speaks to us through the heart. And when the two are connected, guess what? We get some amazing signals coming. So when I think of awareness, I think of stepping into the light, calming myself down, getting present, stepping into the light so that now I'm not solving the problem at the level of my thoughts. I'm solving the problem at the level of my heart. If you want to raise your awareness, you've got to connect. And when we reconnect, now suddenly, if I have more light, I can see more, right? I can look around and go, oh, wow, I see solutions that I could not see before. But I can't do that when I'm stuck up in my head and I'm not okay with my thoughts. I'm not okay with my emotions. I'm just like swirling so much in them that I'm drowning in my middle brain. I cannot see clearly. So the first step of increasing my awareness is I've got to just calm, chill. And it doesn't mean getting rid of the emotions. It means being okay that they're there. Big difference. You're not in a place to solve it. When you're up in your head, remember, if I'm trying to fight thought with thought, that's the problem. Fighting thought with thought spirals you downward into the thought spin even further. That is the essence of a level 4. When I feel tempted to do something against my values and I'm like, oh, no, I don't want to do that, and we try to think our way out of it, we actually feed ourselves into it and we'll spiral further and further down. So the way out of thought is get into awareness. Start noticing, just even noticing what I'm thinking. Working to set an intention to, hey, let me just be still right now. Let me notice what's going on rather than being just swept away by it. And then let me reconnect with my source of power and strength. And in that place of connection, now suddenly I'm going to increase the light in the room and there will be new solutions that I was not aware of before, or new power that I wasn't aware of before. So you see the power of this, the power of awareness in finding solutions that we by ourselves cannot come up with up in our heads when we're caught in our heads and caught in a spin. This is not a powerful tool. Awareness is who you are. You are an aware presence. Your very nature is to be aware. Awareness is what gives us choice. It's what enables us to be agents. So because I'm aware, I can be an agent of change. Because I am an aware presence, awareness is who I am. And if I can just reconnect with who I am, I naturally now have choice again to do something differently. That's why awareness becomes so powerful.